Hello and welcome to Nerd Subculture. I'm your host Jared.
And I'm Edwina.
And we are still continuing our Once More with Feeling series on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Still doing it. Today we're doing Season 3, Episode 6, Band Candy. This episode first aired November 10th, 1998, written by Jane Espinson and directed by Michael Lange.
Jane Espinson.
Jane Espinson.
Jane Espinson.
Yes.
This is a full spoiler podcast. I'm a huge fan, but Jared has never watched the series all the way through, and I'm trying to convince him it's worth his time.
And it's a lot of time too, I've got to say. A lot of time, a lot of editing. We're pushing through it all. I think we're doing quite well. Now, I just wanted to say one thing. If you are a fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which I'm guessing you are, considering you're listening to this, if you haven't seen it in some time, maybe you've got a DVD box set or something like that, maybe worth chucking it on, or even streaming services. Now, if you only seen it on DVD or back in the day, with a lot of the streaming services, you would have like full HD definition and widescreen, which I don't think the DVD releases had back in the day. No. If you watched it on a standard TV. So it would be definitely a good time to watch it. And if you are, watch it with us, watch it with me, listen to episodes and see what you think and join the discussion.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, Band Candy, Eddie.
Oh, you know what? This is actually one of my absolute favourite episodes.
Never skip this one.
I'd even watch it twice. And sometimes I randomly, this is what I call a comfort episode. I'll randomly just put this episode on.
Yeah.
If I'm in a bad mood, which was kind of perfect this week. Because everything felt like it was going to hell. And
the world's turning to hell.
Yeah, the world is just...
So, watching it again, though,
I was just sitting there trying to look for stuff trying to look for the reasons why I love this episode so much.
I don't know, a few gripes I sort of had with it was that it didn't really seem to make any sense. Just the little things.
Yeah, it did seem like a lot of chaos to cause just to steal some babies.
Yeah, a lot of effort just to do that. And it almost seemed like it wasn't needed. They could just walk in there and grab them anyway. They're vampires. They can just do what they want.
True, but they didn't want the people of Sunnydale to forgive and forget that it had happened or that they had let it happen.
That sounds like a bit of a stretch.
That was sort of the whole plan.
But it seemed more like they just piggybacked off a plan that was happening. So, we'll use this so we can do our plan. They're going to do it anyway.
What do you mean by that?
Well, there's a trick. He had really nothing to do with the whole chocolate bar thing.
Oh no, I'm guessing that he spoke to. They just needed a distraction. That's all they needed.
Right. Okay.
That was the whole thing. They needed some sort of chaotic distraction. So
the set of feast could begin.
Yep. So bring in good old Ethan Rain
to distract everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good at that.
By reverting people to their teenage selves.
All right. Well, look, we'll get back into that. I want to wrap this up, and we'll get back to what this episode was about. I have a few things I want to bring up. So.
Well, yeah. All right.
Yeah. Oh, and as I was saying before, if you the streaming services, Hulu, Stan in Australia, they're the ones that have it. But if you don't have a streaming service, there are other means to watch it, and I'm not going to say what, but you get the idea.
Arr, matey.
And getting on with it. Should I?
Yes.
At the beginning of this episode, Principal Snyder hands up boxes of candy to all the students, which they must sell to pay for new marching band uniforms. Buffy sells half of her chocolate bars to her mum and tries to convince her to let her get a driver's license, but Joyce refuses. She then visits Angel, who is practicing Tai Chi. Very nice. Buffy returns home and finds her mother and Giles waiting, angry at her lies. They send her to bed and proceed to munch on the chocolate bars. The next day, Giles fails to show up for study hall where Xander and Willow are playing footsie. Worried, Buffy goes to Giles' home and finds her mum on the couch. Joyce offhandedly gives her the car keys to drive home, to Buffy's astonishment. Giles, now acting like he did as a teen, invites Joyce out for some fun. Buffy and Willow find the Bronze packed with adults who are acting like teenagers, including Principal Schneider. They return to Giles' place to find out what's going on. At the warehouse, the vampire Mr. Trick checks up on Ethan Rayne and the production of chocolate bars. Trick suddenly accuses one of the workers of eating the candy and kills him as an example to the others. Buffy eventually puts 2 and 2 together and realizes the candy is making everyone act like immature teenagers. She sends Willow and Oz to the library and drives to the warehouse. Upon arrival, Buffy finds her mother and Giles kissing in the middle of the street. Inside the warehouse, Buffy catches Ethan. Her threat of violence persuades him to reveal Trick needs to dull Sunnydale adults in order to collect tribute for a demon named Lacronus. Meanwhile, 4 vampires enter the hospital and remove 4 newborn babies. Willow phones Buffy from the library and tells her that Lacronus eats babies. Giles remembers that the demon may be found in the sewers. Down in the sewers, the mayor and Mr. Trick wait impatiently while 4 vampires chant in a ceremony to summon Lacronus. Buffy, Giles, and Joyce crash the party, and the mayor quickly flees unnoticed. Buffy fights the vampires while Giles and Joyce take the babies to safety. A huge snake-like demon appears and swallows one of the vampires whole. Giles attacks Trick, but is thrown into the path of Lacronus. Buffy pulls down a gas pipe, igniting a fire that kills the demon. Back at his office, the mayor asks why Mr. Trick fled, allowing Buffy to kill Lacronus. Trick replies that he thought he did the mayor a favour by having the Slayer kill the demon, leaving one less demon whom the mayor will owe tribute. The mayor warns Trick against doing him any more such favours. The next day, the adults have returned to their senses. Buffy and Giles meet Joyce, and Buffy exclaims that they are lucky she stopped them before they did anything more that they did. Joyce and Giles look very embarrassed, but Buffy fails to notice. The end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got, Eddie?
All right. Yeah, this episode, it is a fan favorite. And it's that reverting to your younger self trope that they're using. And the theme is about responsibility, and without responsibility, things turn into chaos.
Yeah.
As I said before, this is definitely a comfort episode. It's also a good episode if you're trying to get someone into Buffy, to show them.
An introduction episode.
Yeah, like if you show them this first, so they know what there is to look forward to, as opposed to like Teacher's Pet.
Yeah, all right. Skip that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that there's so much good stuff in this episode. I don't really know where to start.
I can't help but feel like this episode revolved around the fact that they wanted Giles and Joyce to hook up, and they had to work a way around it. Well, how could that happen? How could we get these 2 characters to kiss? And so, they're thinking, okay, well, maybe they're immature or some sort of love potion. Okay, let's do that. Or immature potion. They revert to the teenagers and then work their way back from that to get it to happen. I almost felt like that's what they did with this episode. Yeah. We want these 2 to hook up for some reason. And how do we do that? Yeah, okay, some sort of love potion, kill one of the kill babies in there, weird snake thing, done. All right. Yeah.
But let's have all the adults acting that way.
Yeah.
But it was all it was meant to be was a distraction, but I think Ethan Rayne took it perhaps a bit too like he does. Mm-hmm. Took it that little bit too far.
Yeah.
Where it just drew too much attention to it.
Yeah, and also it didn't seem that necessary either. A lot of work and effort having all these people packing all these boxes. I mean, couldn't you just have these people just storm the hospital and just take the babies? That would have made more sense.
Oh, yeah. There's probably a lot of easier ways to get babies.
Yeah. Surprisingly. If they were that desperate for it.
Yeah. But then you don't have Ripper Giles.
No, but yeah, that's what I mean. It seems like we have to work back from that point.
Juice Newton Joyce.
Juice Newton.
Joyce. Yeah, so I should probably talk about Jane Espinson. So, because this is the first episode written by her. Mm-hmm. She's kind of a big deal.
Is she?
Yeah, so she does go on to be pretty much one of the
What, the showrunner? I
No,
guess?
she doesn't become the showrunner, but she definitely starts writing a lot of episodes.
Right.
And generally her episodes are quite good episodes. And, she's currently, I think she's working on the Nevers.
Oh, did she have a cameo in this
Yes.
as the lunch lady?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I was reading about her. So, yeah, she's been executive producer or consultant producer
Yeah.
for like Battlestar Galactica and Caprica.
She was also a
and-
writer on Caprica and
Yeah.
Battlestar
Yeah.
Galactica.
So, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah. And Torchwood.
Torchwood, yes. Which Torchwood was it?
You know which one.
Oh, no, not that one.
The Miracle Day one.
No.
The bad one.
The bad one, yeah.
The bad one.
Oh, that was awful, wasn't it?
Yeah. The really, really bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
The really bad one. Oh, not the Children of Earth one, was it? Or the
No, it was.
no,
it was,
no, not
no,
that
no,
one.
No, not that one.
The
not
other
that
one.
The other one that destroyed the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's pretty prolific in the industry, and funnily enough, I have heard her on a lot of Buffy podcasts and things.
Oh, really? Oh, maybe we can get her
Yeah.
on our one.
I somehow doubt it.
No? Hey, good try.
Yeah, no, she's great. I am a fan of hers, I do have to say. Because,
Hmm.
yeah, she did work on Jessica Jones as well.
Jessica Jones!
I knew you were going to do that the moment I said Jessica Jones. Yeah. Probably one of the things I have to, just little notes on why I like this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, there's Naked Angel doing Tai Chi.
Yeah.
That lovely slow-mo Tai
I'd
Chi
say most of the ladies were on set
music.
for that cut, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that lovely music. And you even see Buffy kind of gulp.
Oh, jeez.
Like there's this sort of building sexual tension between them.
Doesn't Schneider also do Tai Chi? We don't get to see
No,
him
he
shirtless?
does Taekwondo
Oh, Taekwondo, sorry.
at the Y.
The why?
And that comes to the second reason why I love this episode. And it's Snyder as a teenager was just adorkable. He's just
He wanted to be part of the gang too.
He's just a nerdy dork that just wants to be friends with Buffy.
Yeah.
And the gang. And it did make me think and wonder what event or what happened to him to turn him into the bitter, twisted troll that
We
he
know
turns
responsibilities.
into. Responsibilities.
It comes back to what you said, Eddie. Responsibilities and being an adult, sucks all the life out of you, makes you boring.
Yeah, but he is just hilarious in this episode. Every line that he says is hilarious.
Yeah. What do you say to Buffy in the car? You drive like a spaz?
Yeah, it's like, whoa, Summers, you drive like a spaz. Sorry if you are ableist. You can't use the word spaz anymore. So completely inappropriate. But he also, what's the other one? There are some foxy ladies tonight. There are some foxy ladies.
I thought he was going to get all creepy with Willow and Buffy for a second as well. I was expecting it.
You know what? I was really glad that within this episode they didn't take that route. Though they were teenagers, they weren't hitting on actual teenagers.
Yeah.
They were just acting like teenagers with each other.
Yeah. They didn't. I was almost thinking when he was standing there with him, he was going to say or do something really creepy with him.
Yeah. No, instead he goes after an older, older girl. Yeah.
Is
And
this?
then I think the other one was when he just walks up to Oz and goes, "You have really cool hair," and just walks off. He just wants to be friends with him. And is it because of that maybe Buffy and then might remind him of someone that did something bad to him, or I don't know.
Maybe.
Is that why?
Yeah.
Why does he hate teenagers so much?
And at the final scene at the end where they have to clean the lockers, spray painted with kiss rules.
What is it? Yeah, kiss rocks.
Kiss rocks. Kiss rocks.
Yeah. Who would want to kiss rocks?
Who wrote that? Is it implied that he wrote that there?
It's implied that he wrote it.
Yeah, because I feel like these kids probably doing it. Maybe they're into Kiss, but yeah. Is that confirmed or it's just implied, or we don't know?
I think it's just implied.
Okay, all right, sweet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Buffy's driving. I think it's also the driving scenes. So you never see her drive after this, pretty much.
All right, really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So after this, so we know, like we'd heard that she's a bad driver, and in this we see just how bad a driver she is. And if you've ever been in like a car with someone who was a bad driver, I was once in a car with someone who's so bad, and you're pretty much sitting there looking like Willow, holding on to hoping to all hell that you don't die.
Yeah, I remember a guy from school, trade school, and he was a shocking driver, but in a sense that he was one of those guys who would fly through traffic and zoom and cut everyone off without using indicators or anything. And I was like, I'm never getting in a car with a guy like him again. I want people looking at me thinking, oh, you're one of those type of people, just zooming and flipping through.
Yeah.
And no, not a fan of that. Although when you say bad driver, she was actually a good driver. Like she was doing some nice slides and stuff. Like she was in control.
Well, it's the fact that
it's a stunt driver doing that.
I don't know how she was in control because that was a Jeep.
And the accident wasn't her fault. So
yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, driving with the handbrake on.
Yeah,
like I love to hear just this slight squeaking noise. But yeah, Willow's face is just hilarious during that scene, and then she's just like trying not to be rude to Buffy as well.
Yeah, trying to be nice, Willow.
Yeah. Well, you all know that I'm a huge Giles shipper. Like I already think he's pretty hot in the show, just normal, regular Giles.
Yeah.
Have him act like teenage Giles, and oh my god, he is super hot in this.
Slipping
episode.
into the Cockney accent as well, like losing his sophisticated northern accent.
Yeah, which is actually his actual voice.
Yeah, is it?
Yes, that's his actual accent.
Oh,
I think it's perhaps a little bit stronger than normal, but like he's sort of added to it, but. Yeah, that's his normal speaking voice.
So this is like his Sex Pistols voice when he's playing in the Sex Pistols.
Yeah, yeah. Which is funny because he's like, oh, I really need to start a band. And yeah, he looks great. Like I think it's, and it's just jeans, white t-shirt, boots, shirt around the waist.
Yeah.
Him and...
Nancy.
Yeah. Juice Newton Joyce. Walking arm in arm down the street, and I'm just like, they look so hot together.
Yeah. They look great together.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. This whole episode was created to get that shot of them walk. Like, how do we? They start with that, then work their way back, which is, why it didn't make a lot of sense. And I think that was the money shot right there. Yeah. That's what they wanted.
Yeah.
And they succeeded. I say, it was worth it. Completely worth it. Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, she but the way that Joyce was dressed as well, like she's wearing the same outfit, but she's just like added like skirt and boots, and it's just kind of funny how they did it.
Yeah. Because I'd actually
she's just wearing her normal clothes, just differently.
Yeah. Because I'd seen lots of pictures of them two together dressed like that, and I didn't know what was sort of going on there, like whether it was some sort of party or wrap-up party or something. I'd seen pictures of them, him wearing that shirt and her like holding on to him, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what that's all about. So it makes all sense now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Giles's Ripper is just so fun. Like he's so funny. Like it's this. I could watch this again and again, like this episode over and over again, just for Giles. Ethan Rayne, as I said, any episode with Ethan Rayne in it is normally a good episode.
He's a good villain.
Yeah.
Always in control.
And you get Giles, as you said, we get Giles and Joyce getting together, which is pretty funny. And yeah, that was pretty much all
That's all you had?
Yeah.
So do you know how much money they raised?
$600,000. Yeah, I saw that little.
Yeah. So I guess that worked out all right. What was in the chocolate?
Oh, it's just cursed.
Oh, just cursed, some
Yeah, just a
magical
curse.
curse. Yeah, so how do they
No,
uncurse
it just wears off.
Oh,
Yeah.
fair enough. All right.
Talking about Joyce again, she is much more likable as a teenager than as an adult.
Yeah.
Because at the
better
start
teenager
of this,
than her mother.
at the start of this episode, she is horrible.
She needs to lighten up.
Yeah.
And I knew something was going on with the chocolate too. So no, she's eating it
Because
like
they were
that.
just scoffing
Yeah,
it
she's
down.
talking and just scoffing it down. I'm like, oh, okay, that chocolate must be good. I hadn't twigged on the what was happening to him. I thought they were acting a little strange, but I couldn't really quite put my finger on what was sort of going on. And is it a memory wipe curse, or they're all?
I don't think so. I think it's one of those typical things that happens in Sunnydale where everyone just forgets about it.
Yeah.
Just represses it.
Yeah. So Joyce and Giles remember.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised they didn't sort of push through with it and start a relationship or something. You know, I think, maybe that wasn't so bad. Or do they? You're looking at me funny. Oh, okay. Don't say anything. All right. Not saying anything. So Giles finally got laid.
Did he?
Did he?
Did he?
Oh, I thought it was heavily implied that.
It was very heavily implied.
That, especially that moment of silence where they kind of looked at each other and went, ah. When Buffy said, "Oh, you guys nearly did it," and like, yeah, nearly.
Yeah. You find out more details in later episodes.
Okay, Mr. French tickler.
I do like when Joyce pulls the handcuffs out from behind us.
Yeah, he got kinky as well.
Do not tell me. Yeah. But yeah, like Joyce is just so much more likable as a teenager than as her mum. Like, because there was when she was like, "Oh, you're acting immature." That's right. She was saying Buffy was being immature. Okay, Jared. Oh, first I'll ask Jared. Had you seen this episode?
No.
I'm somehow very surprised. So you'd only just seen like the pictures of.
I'd seen the pictures of them two together, and just I wasn't sure what that was about.
Yeah.
Just thought maybe it was just a cast picture or something,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And did you have any rabbit holes that you went down?
Yeah. So, did you know there were video games of Buffy?
I didn't know there was a video game, but I've never played it.
There are actually a few, surprisingly.
I know there's a board game as well.
A board game. I didn't know that. There's a few games, a couple on Game Boy Color Advanced. It was like, it's like a platform game. It's awful. There was one on Xbox, on the first Xbox, which is a third-person game, and then another one released on Xbox One or PlayStation 2, the next generation. They're both are third-person. They looked kind of interesting, almost kind of like a Lara Croft-looking sort of game.
Okay.
Not like jumping on platforms, just running around stabbing vampires and whatnot. And a Game Boy SP or Advance or Color. I've got to get my Game Boys mixed up. It's probably a hard genre to crack, the video game industry, for Buffy the Vampire, because it's probably specifically a female sort of content, So, I'm not saying that no guys would play it or no girls would play it on PlayStation, but it's probably a very niche market in video gaming area, which is, dominated by boys and men. So they looked kind of crappy. I'm not going to play them. Now and finally, Pinocchio.
What about Pinocchio?
Well, it got me thinking about Pinocchio, like the island that the kids go to when they all act like kids and stuff, and they start eating that stuff and turn into donkeys and all that. And I was just reading about the story of Pinocchio, the original tale, not the Disney version.
Yeah.
And did you know Pinocchio killed Jiminy Cricket in the original story?
Yeah, most of those fairy tales have
Yeah,
much darker endings.
Most of those Disney
than what the Disney-fied version.
Yeah.
has.
Well, the Disney always pinch IP that's in a domain, so they don't have to pay any royalties and use old fairy tales, and they're usually a lot more graphic and horrifying than what they put on the screen. But however, there is one scene from the Disney movie that I rewatched recently, and that I did find quite horrifying. And even rewatching it, I'm like, oh, that is like really disturbing. Do you know which scene I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, I'm going to play it to you. I'm going to play it over this, and you can watch it with me, baby, and see what you think. So it's the scene where they go to that fantasy island, and he's playing pool with that other guy, and they're drinking and smoking. God, you gotta love old cartoons sometimes, don't you? And they start turning into donkeys, and it's quite horrific the way that his friend transforms into a donkey. So if you could see that there, Eddie,
Come out of me.
it's when he turns into a donkey, and he starts sort of panicking. And this is the scene here, and he's like, holding his hands over his ears.
What's going on? Oh, I've been double-crossed. Help! Help! Somebody help! I've been
Yes.
raped. Help!
Yeah, in this part.
Please, you gotta help me. Oh, be a pal. Call that beetle. Call anybody. Mama!
Yeah, what do you think of that? That's
Oh, God.
it probably sounds horrible on just listening to this. Yeah, so it was just sort of that scene. Just rewatching again, like, yeah, actually, that was pretty horrific, especially when he's like screaming for his mum.
Yeah.
And he's and they do the silhouette of him transforming into the donkey because I think that would look, way too horrific. And it's just thinking, it just got me thinking, Disney movies just wouldn't push that envelope now, like in any of their movies, like that. That's pretty horrifying watching that, even as an adult, that scene, it sort of maybe scarred me a little bit for life. Maybe it was right not to.
one of those movies that scarred you for life.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really think about it until we listened to this, watching this episode. And it just got me thinking of that juice that the kids were drinking, and I'm just reading a bit of the original story of Pinocchio. I don't know if that's kind of related or not. I don't know.
It is. Well, coming back to that, like, what do you think it would be like meeting your teenage self, or if we reverted to our teenage selves?
I always feel like I'd really hate him. Who is this idiot? Yeah, I get the feeling it'd be cringy, be like, oh, And coincidentally enough, I actually ran into someone recently who was a friend of mine in high school. Funny enough, he was behind me in the car and started tooting the horn frivolously. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And as I drive off, he calls me on the phone. It's like, hey, man, I just saw you driving. And, oh, that was you, And he had a bit of a chat with some guy, I haven't spoken to in like 20-something years, which is quite nice, and see how they're doing and all that. And got me thinking about all those stories and stuff. And he mentioned a few things. And he said, oh, man, I remember this trick you used to do, right? And what you do, you have your jumper on, and you take your arms out of the sleeves of your jumper, and you tuck them into your pockets. So it looked like your hands are in your pockets, all right? And then what you do, you'd walk around with your fly over and stick your finger through through the fly and walk up to people, and it looked like your penis was hanging out. I'm like,
oh my God. I think I would have hated you as a teenager.
I'm like, yeah, that's probably me.
Yeah, I would probably go up and slap me in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't want to meet him. Good thing time machines haven't been invented yet.
Yeah. It was like, you have absolutely nothing to be mopey about.
Why are you so mopey?
Nothing.
Shut up.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, all right. So, Eddie, you want to roll into the questions? I think we can get that going.
Answer the
the question.
Okay, Jared.
Yes, Eddie?
Which character was your favourite?
Well, if I say anything other than Rupert or Ripper Giles, you'd think I'd be lying then, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but even then, I have issues between Giles and Snyder.
Yeah? Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
No, Rupert for me.
Yeah, I've got both Ripper and Snyder because they just make this episode really good. You need the both of them. Which character do you love to hate?
I was going to say Ethan.
Yeah, I've got Ethan.
Ethan, yeah.
Next question.
So is that character that you I hate that guy. I hate him.
Yep. What was the most memorable fight scene?
I thought Giles beating up the cop.
Copper got a gun.
Copper got a gun.
Copper got a gun.
Yeah.
Ooh. Copper got a gun. Yeah. I love that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I like Buffy punching like she punches Ethan and Giles does this little hop, like little
punch in the air.
Yeah, little punch hop in the air. Going, yes. when she punches him. Yeah. I like that. LOL moment.
Well, yeah, that was sort of Giles telling Buffy to punch him.
Yeah.
You got to punch him.
Mine had to be when Buffy sees Giles and Joyce kissing for the first time near the chocolate factory. And she's trying to break them up. And he's just like, go away, I'm busy.
It's a real passionate kiss they're having too.
And like but he's still kissing her going, go away, we're busy. And also the whole definitely Snyder's, whoa, Summers, you drive like a spaz. Favorite scene.
I think any scene with Giles and Joyce was pretty hilarious. It was my favorite. I can't think of any. Probably them kissing on the car. Or having sex on the car. Did they have sex on one of a police car?
Twice. It comes up later.
Oh no.
Yeah, actually I just like when Joyce and Giles are just in the apartment and they're just listening to records.
Yeah.
And drinking and smoking and Joyce is sort of being, the coy kind of teenage girl trying to get his attention without being like too cool, trying to be cool but not too cool. And just trying to get his attention, but he's too distracted by the music.
Oh, no.
He's just like, and he sort of sits up going, oh, I love this bit. It's definitely my favorite scene. Or when all the adults in the bronze, like when Buffy and Willow are walking in, going, "What the hell is going on?"
The lead singer of the band was loving it. Hey man, they love us.
Yes. Let's go for the least favorite scene.
Oh, the snaky snake.
What?
The snack.
The snack. The snack.
Yeah, at the end.
Oh yeah, the demon.
Demon snake. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna go with Willow and Xander doing footsies, playing footsies under.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll change it to that one. Yeah. I'm changing it.
Not the snack?
Oh, we'll come back to the snack.
Okay. Favorite quote?
Mine was from Oz. And reflecting on what we were talking about before, they're teenagers. It's a sombering mirror to look at too, huh? Sorry. It's a sombering mirror to look into, huh?
Yes, exactly.
Even though none of them are teenagers.
Yes. Buffy's little line of soup's on, but no one's grabbing a spoon.
When did she say that?
It's when she's like, where are the vampires? Like, why aren't they? That's what.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone,
no one's in the street, yeah.
Everyone's out. No one's protecting their houses. No one's home. They're all out and about. But there's no vampires, Soup's on, but no one's grabbing a spoon. Or maybe just Snyder's, whoa, there's some foxy ladies here tonight. And I think it's because it's so out of character.
I think the whole premise of this episode was to get all the conservative, characters out of their shells and make them all goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, coming back to that, working from that premise. Let's do this, and how do we get there?
Yeah. Best Cordelia freakout moment.
Which is talking about Mum started borrowing my clothes. There should be an age limit on Lycra pants. And Dad, he just locked himself in the bathroom with old copies of Esquire.
Yeah, I like the... where she's like, when they're in study hall, and she's like, I can't believe this. Where is Giles already? I'm bored, and he's not here to give me credit for it.
But you did.
Yeah.
And who gets the wooden spoon?
Snick.
I was gonna go with Mr. Trick.
Mr. Trick. Well, actually, no. He kind of did the mayor a favour, like one less. Yeah.
Don't do me any favors.
Yeah.
No, as you said before, like the premise of like it was too much chaos. It brought too much attention to what they were doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you want a distraction, maybe just focus solely on the hospital.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, set fire to something. I don't know, like what? Yeah. A distract. It's so vague. Like, we want a distraction.
Yeah, but don't do the whole town that doesn't disable your Slayer, that causes you the most amount of issues. So Buffy's not disabled by this curse at all.
Yeah, she's not. Well,
she sort of was because she's running around trying to work out.
But it led her to it in the end.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. I don't know. It didn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's funny, like what the cause actually sort of helped them in some sort of way too. Like it kind of worked out for everyone.
Yeah.
In the end, actually, apart from poor Snick.
Yeah.
Stuff to Snick.
The Snick. And who gets the MVP?
Well, I think Giles gets MVP for me. I don't know.
Well, he does remember the
Yeah.
Cronus. Like he remembers the.
It jogs his memory the last minute, and he picked.
Oh, I know this.
And he picked up that night and scored. Got a gun as well. Took out Ethan. Tried to take on Mr. Trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I was going to give it to Buffy, but you've made some good points about Giles.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I think Giles for the MVP. And what do you rate the episode out of 10?
I'm going to give it 7. 7 cigarettes tucked in a t-shirt.
Oh, yes, I love that. I love it. Yeah, I was just going to go with 10. I have to give this a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10? Wow.
Yeah, for Cursed. 10 out of 10, Cursed.
That's our first 10?
Yeah.
That's our first 10?
Yeah. 10 out of 10 Cursed chocolate bars. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Like, even with the stupid premise.
Yeah, it's still fine. It's still a good ride.
That's not even the point.
It's kind of like rushed at the end, like, the snake's dead, let's move on. But we had a good ride there, so
Yeah. Not the point.
Not the point.
It's actually the lead up to that whole.
It's the journey, not the destination.
The journey, not the destination. And yeah, I love all the characters as teenagers. Like it's comedy gold.
Yeah.
Stop that.
Someone's tail whipping you.
Should I say the cat has just come and made itself comfortable on my chest?
Well, you just did.
Yes. And now she's whipping her tail around.
Yeah, I think she wants to. I think that's the
wrap it up.
Wrap it up, Q.
Wrap it up, Mama.
Or was there anything else you wanted to add? Overall a good episode. Yeah.
I was like, if you hate this episode, there's just no point in us going on with this series.
No, I didn't hate this episode. It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's the time, Eddie.
Yeah. All right.
Let's do
go.
it. Well, I hope you've enjoyed listening to us tonight, and make sure you watch these episodes and watch it with us. It'll be really cool. A good journey. My name is Jared.
I'm Edwina.
And you can find us on
TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. There is a Facebook group, and you can email us at nerdsubculture@gmail.com.
And as always, be sure to like, share, subscribe. We'll catch you next time. Take care. See ya.
Grr. Fuck some foxy ladies here tonight.